And are we live? I think we're live. What is up, everyone? OJ over here from PlayerEssence, and welcome to a PlayerEssence Cross Nintendo special. I have a very special cast of awesome people here, and if you're a longtime fan of PlayerEssence, you should know what's going on right here. You see all of their names. I'll introduce them, and I'll definitely let them say what's up. But yeah, got a special here. The band is back. PE Network, if you guys remember that, man. So the year is 2013, and we're talking about why the Wii U is failing. So, Terminator, why is the Wii U failing?
No third-party games.
No third party. There's no third party. Nintendo needs to really do something at this year's E3. I'm joking.
They need Smash Brothers.
I know. Seriously, hey, Smash Brothers is looking good, right? When are they gonna release Smash on the Wii U?
No, it's the gamepad, man.
I know the gamepad. What do you guys think about the gamepad? Are they using the gamepad correctly? I mean,
I don't know. Nintendo themselves could use it a little bit more than they are, but
I just think Miyamoto needs to step down. I just don't know if he's doing a good enough job at this point.
It's just weird they have to be tethered so close to that console. I just want to take it outside.
Although Wind Waker HD is looking pretty good. I mean, I think
it does look pretty good.
It does look. I think it's going to use the gamepad well.
it utilizes the gamepad pretty well, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I definitely think so. Star Fox, I don't know, but let's just see what happens with Star Fox. Star Fox Zero, I think. I mean,
Did we know about Star Fox in 2013? I don't know.
No.
I think so. Wait, wasn't that E3?
I know what.
Or was
I
it-
know what the
was it
problem
next-
is. I need some RPG elements.
Yeah,
Nice.
definitely need some RPG. So, do you guys think that the Wii U, the sales are going to things are going to turn around? I mean, like
They're definitely going to turn around,
Yeah,
man.
once
They're gonna
Mario
hit this,
Kart.
Oh, no doubt.
Mario Kart.
Mario Kart's going to come and save the day, man.
How many pie charts does it take for you guys to understand when Mario Kart is going to, like, the sales results? What's the pie chart that we're going to use here? I mean,
Do you think Polygon anticipated a Switch version when they calculated their sales for Mario Kart 8 being the lowest of the series?
Going back to 2014, if this is 2014, no.
I think somebody bumped their head somewhere.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, we are joking around. My eyes are tearing up because I'm
I bet at least half the people listening are like, what are they talking about?
I know, seriously. Maybe all of the people listening are like, what are they
Yeah.
talking about? Anyway, what's up, guys? We have a special guest, like I said here. Special guest, pretty much the old PE Network. We are back as a special, guys. We're pretty close to hitting the Patreon goal, or I hit it, then like I went back down, then it's like going back and forth. So I promised a special video live stream, and this is definitely it. So thank you to all the supporters out there. I do appreciate that. But to my left, I have Mr. T. How you doing, Mr. T?
Hey there, fools. What's going on, man? This is awesome to be back. Like you said, it's like 2013 all over again,
Yeah,
where
man.
the homies are back together, the PE Network, the originators. It's great.
I wanted to find Zen, but I don't know where Zen is. I don't know. I don't see him anywhere.
From what I heard, Nintendo broke Zen, and that's the literal. Those are literally the words I heard, and I don't even think he has a Switch right now. He's so broken.
Yeah.
distraught.
I know, like the Wii U was very hard emotionally and mentally on him. I know
Yeah.
I know things really took a toll. I know the Wii U really took a toll on him. I mean, I don't see him anywhere. But anyway, we would love to have Zen at some point. Definitely would love to have Zen on here. Right below me, I do have Terminator Juice. What's up, Terminator?
What's up, man? It's been a minute. At least it feels like at least 2 years since we did a PlayerEssence cast, like with the old crew. So good to be back, and yeah, you've got a lot more subscribers and followers since then. So what's up to everybody? I think you were at like
20,000.
4,000. I think you were at like 4,000 or 5,000 last time.
Yeah, might have been. Yeah, so just a little bit more. Not too much
Yeah.
though. But yeah, man, it's good to be back. It's good to have another podcast with you, dude. Man, shout outs to everyone showing the love. I will definitely get Jamie in, and then I'll give you guys some shout outs for the donations. And then over here to my right, I have Mr. Butter. How you doing, Mr. Butter?
That is Butterworthy. Thank you very much.
Hey guys, I found him. He was hiding. I found him.
Yes, I was hiding behind my 800 Twitter followers and growing Instagram and Facebook. Yeah, sure.
So you got
But
Jamie
I am
there.
here. I am here to discuss gaming and pet cats, and I'm all out of cats. Oh wait, no, there they are.
Nice Duke Nukem. Just make sure you don't have Randy Pitchford over there helping you pet cats. He's gonna ruin everything.
Yeah.
He's gonna ruin everything. Don't get Gearbox to do it. All right, so real quick before we get into the topics today, shout outs to Magic Tech Review for the $1 donation through Super Chat. Thank you so much, homie. Do appreciate that. Carl Brooks, also thank you for the subscription, homie. Welcome to the village. And also Gizmo BH54. That's the elite ninja right there. What's up, man? Thank you for the $10 donation through Super Chat. And he says, what's up, bro? Just showing support to the cause. And he says, okay, thank you so much. I do appreciate that. And shout out to the 100 people watching. Do appreciate that as well. So let's go ahead and get into this. We have a little game called Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I have this nice nifty controller that I'm showing up to the screen here. This nice Pro controller. It looks amazing. I don't even want to use it. Yeah, it looks awesome. But yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 launched. A lot of people playing it. I think I had around 20 people on my friends list playing the game. So we're just gonna get into our initial impressions, obviously without any like spoilers. Probably none of us are really too far to really spoil anything, but just the initial beginning of the game. How do you feel about like the combat and like the game overall? What's your impressions? Let's start with Jamie. Have you been playing it, Jamie?
Let's see. I'm currently at 5 hours played.
Okay.
Or so.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, I gotta say, I already love all the characters I've seen more than all the characters in Xenoblade Chronicles X. Like, I had a hard time connecting with all those characters, but here, it didn't take much time at all. And I love Pyra. I love her voice. I love the way she looks. I love the art style of the game. It's just, I love it. I do.
Mm-hmm. So, Terminator, how do you feel about the game so far?
Well, I got up just to unlocking Pyra, and the cinematic was taking place when I had to pause it and to do this. So I'm not that far. I haven't used the blade mechanics. I just did the basics. With I think I got up to I was up to level 6 with Rex before, and I was a huge fan of Xenoblade Chronicles X. If anybody is wondering, it was my number 6 favorite game on the Wii U, and I put over 220 hours into it. And I'm not even an RPG fan, so I was excited for Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I did dabble in the first game, but it just didn't grip me because I felt the battle mechanics were so much better in X that I had trouble going back. So with this game, I feel like it's a blend between 1 and X, like as far as it definitely improved the battle system where the first game had that whole time travel like or not time travel, where you saw like a vision of the future. I never did dig that at all, so I'm glad that's not coming back. And it's the Xenoblade. It's that it's auto attacks, but also with the art system and stuff, you get that strategy. And I'm just, like I said, getting into it, so I haven't really used Pyra or any other blade. So the basics are there. It feels right at home. And I'm loving how the game looks, the art direction. I love the character design. It's the biggest improvement over X, which had terrible character design. It was laughably bad at times. So I'm loving the game so far. The music's great, and Pyra is life. Pyra is love.
Yeah, and T, how do you feel about the game so far, man? First, how many hours are you in? And you can just kind of.
I barely cracked an hour. I was actually on another podcast before.
Oh, wow.
And
Really?
I just barely got into it, but I like Juice said, I love the characters, way better character design, and I like the fact that maybe a lot of people don't notice it, but like this, for me, like the Xenoblade Chronicles games, they kind of try to meld like realistic graphics with anime style, and I think this is like the best I've seen of that attempt in this game. So. But I barely even got into it. I battled like the first crab monster or whatever it is. And, my kids are running around in the back screaming, so
it's okay.
Didn't really get a chance to get into it yet, but I'll be on it all night, I'm sure.
Kids running around in the back screaming is nothing new to me. My podcasts, my videos. You guys see the videos that I upload, but sometimes there are times when my daughter just completely messes up my videos for the day, and I have to reshoot everything. Like, so instead of like you guys see 4 videos a day, it's actually like I shot 6 to 8 videos a day because my daughter comes in sometimes completely messes up things. So it's all.
And that happens to me too. Like when I some people have complained about me going, well, I live in a house with a wife and kids, so I get distracted when I'm making a video sometimes, and I just don't feel like editing that stuff out. So.
Yep, exactly. And like you have like another actual job to do,
Right.
Whereas me, I better edit that stuff out because because my other job is just a little personal training job that I do, and I work like 5 hours a week at that. So I better edit out my daughter making mistakes and stuff like that. Although one time
I do want to give it. Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I do want to give a shout out to Amazon because I know Amazon has been terrible lately. I actually ended up pre-ordering 2 copies of Xenoblade Chronicles two. The special edition, I got one at Walmart. That didn't come through. That's supposed to be tomorrow, but my Amazon came through. It was here pretty early today, so.
Mm-hmm.
And shout outs to Best Buy Gamers Club on the other side of that.
Best Buy failed me, man. This is the first time
they did.
Yeah, they failed me. I went there to go pick it up. I thought there was maybe a glitch in the system, but when I got there, they were like, "Nope, it's not here yet," and there's no ETA on when it's going to be here. So I had to buy the game. It was just like I said, I got bodied today. I don't know if you guys saw me on Twitter, but man, I got bodied. So I went to go pick up the game. Best Buy didn't have it. I waited around to see maybe if they're going to get it, they were going to get it soon. And I'll get to the donations in just a bit, guys. Thank you. They didn't have it. So I went back in there and I bought the game. I bought the controller. And then Nintendo didn't have my review code. So I'm like, man, I have to buy this game so I can play it. And then all of a sudden, as soon as I get home from Best Buy, Nintendo says, hey, we got a review code for you. And I'm like, bruh, I knew it. I knew this was going to happen. They waited all the way to almost 12 to give me the review code. So yeah, that's kind of what happened. So now I just have I got 3 copies of Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So
did you get a collector's edition? Is that what they didn't have?
Yeah, they didn't have the collector's edition. They didn't have the collector's edition of Xenoblade Chronicles 2. It was, I should have specified that. They didn't have my collector's edition.
Do you want a special edition?
Yeah, I want it, but they were Best Buy.
Talk to me after the podcast. I might have to hook you up.
Well, I already paid for mine. I'm just waiting on them to actually send it. So they said that I called customer service. They said that it's probably gonna be coming next week. So yeah, probably coming next week. So yeah,
I actually canceled my special edition and just opted to go with the standard.
You shouldn't have. That art book is beautiful.
I had the art book in the first game or Axis special edition. I only looked at it briefly, and then I didn't want to fold it. I didn't want to wreck any pages. I put it back in the box, and it's just sitting there safe.
Yeah, everything
that's the point.
That's the whole point.
That's what collectibles are about. You look at them a couple times a year, maybe, and you leave them where they belong.
I just show them off for the camera. I have this, but it's not like I'm going to do anything with it. It's not like I'm going to open it. I mean, even the game is in there. Xenoblade Chronicles, the game. I actually bought the game digitally too. So I feel yeah, it's for Xenoblade Chronicles.
That's a good move. How big is it, by the way?
How big is what?
The game, the file.
13 gigabytes. But then if you download the voice pack and then the season pass, it's over. I think it's 15 gigabytes with everything or something like that.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Not too bad at all. As far as that goes. So let me get to the donations real quick. So shout outs to Night Moon for the doll donation. Says did not know there was a stream. Well, now you know, Night Moon. Shout outs, man. Thank you so much for the donation. And also Sean Sweeney, he's actually an aerospace engineer. He's really intelligent. So I like Sean when he comes on here. And he says, I guess you guys are worth taking my time away from Xenoblade Chronicles 2. And he donated $10. So thank you so much, Sean. I do appreciate that. And Clash with Jash, CWJ for the subscription. Thank you so much, homie. Welcome to the village. But yeah, as far as my impressions, man, it's Xenoblade. You know what I'm saying? It's a good, like Terminator said, it's a good meld between the two. But it's Xenoblade, but to me, it's a little bit smoother. The game obviously looks the best that it's looked. The graphics are really impressive. Portable mode, maybe not so much. As far as portable mode goes, I almost played it a little bit. Definitely not as good in portable mode, but still, I mean, it's feasible for what you're trying to do. If you're just trying to, you're just doing some leveling or something like that, you just want to relax comfortably. It's fine. So yeah, but the gameplay, the combat, everything is good so far. It's smooth. It works the way it's supposed to. They have some cool updates. I've been covering the game for a year now, so I mean, I know the battle system and all that. So yeah, so it's good. It's Xenoblade. So do you guys have anything else that you guys wanted to add as far as you guys' thoughts on Xenoblade? Or
can we kind of round back on what T said here?
Sure.
Not T, Juice. Yeah, I'm getting you guys mixed up because it's like
That happens all the time. Don't worry about it.
Tea is tea. Okay, so tea or juice, pick your drink. So because the funny thing is, the Juice and I have kind of the exact opposite impressions of Xenoblade Chronicles #1 versus X. Because I really didn't like X that much. Like, I played the game, I put in my 80 hours, but at the end of it, it felt like a slog. I was done. I just wanted to be just done with it. And the end was just disappointing massively to me. The first one, I bought 3 times in 3 different formats because I bought the physical game on the Wii, I bought the digital game on the Wii U, and then I bought the 3DS version as well. And I put hundreds of hours into the game because I loved it. I loved the characters, I loved the battle system, I loved the story, every bit of it. But Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is in a whole different category. To me, it screams more as the original Xenoblade than it does X.
Oh,
but at the same time, it feels like there's a little bit of X in it also. So, but at the same time, you have Juice, who was more into X, that's also enjoying Xenoblade Chronicles 2, even though he hasn't played that much of it yet. But I'm in a good deal further than he is, and I'm adoring it, everything about it, because it's like they took everything that was great in the first Xenoblade, everything that was good in the second one, minus the whole mech thing, because that wasn't really good anyway, and I'll fight about it, T. Shut up, Juice. God, okay. None of that yet, but it's just it's really good. I'm really happy with the way they've done it. But if you've liked either one of the games, you can't go wrong with this one.
Yeah, but for me, it was really that that battle mechanic where you saw a glimpse of the future in the first game, and I never found that to help me, and it always seemed to hinder me, and I never could do anything about it. And
see, that's the difference between you and me. Is I loved that because it kind of gave me insight into what the enemy was doing, kind of how their rotation was, and I could plan different ways out to kind of break that or brace for that, to try and prevent or change the future as he did in that game. And I really missed that in X, and of course they don't have it in this one either. But I just thought that was a really unique mechanic I enjoyed.
It was a good idea. Just for me, I played X first, and then I tried to go back and play the. And Shulk as a character I didn't really get sucked into the storyline there. But for me, X was just like, I beat the game with like at 70 hours, and then I put 220 hours. I had more fun post game than I did the main game. Like, it just learning and discovering all this like cool like combo system and these like high power weapons that were just kind of hidden. Of course, I used some guides and stuff just to get started, and then the advanced mechs, the level 60s, and the Ares skulls it just took that game to a whole nother level for me. So, but I understand why people who liked the first game didn't like, because it really didn't have that story, that compelling characters, and there was some interesting characters, but nothing that was the focus of the game. So. I can understand why people didn't like X if having played the first game first, but for me, having played X first, it's kind of, that's that way in movies and music and stuff. Sometimes the first thing you experience, whether it was the sequel or a third album of an artist, sometimes that's your favorite, and then you go back and hear the earlier stuff, and you're like, ugh, I don't like this.
That everybody loves. You're like, oh.
Yeah, but the person who was there from the get-go always loves that first album of an artist, So maybe it's kind of like that, but. Yeah, I do agree. This is a good blend but more so, it feels more like the first game as far as the whole story, the bubble.
Oh yeah,
with the text,
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, it's called Xenoblade Chronicles 2 for a reason.
Yeah,
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I agree. I mean, with me, I love Xenoblade Chronicles, the original, and I love Xenoblade Chronicles X, and I played the heck out of both of them. So I'm not like I'm not on one side or the other. They both have unique mechanics for those type of games. I mean, if you like big mechs and stuff like that, like if you're a Gundam fan, then a lot of people who like Gundam probably like Xenoblade Chronicles X more. But if you're more of a traditional, RPG fan, maybe you like Xenoblade Chronicles more. Xenoblade Chronicles, to Jamie's point, the whole see the future thing, that's a really hardcore RPG mechanic though. Because you have to do certain skills and certain things to prevent that, whether it's bumping up your defense or, doing something like that. So that's kind of more of a hardcore, like if you're into RPGs more, that's like, oh, that's cool, I can prevent this thing from killing me. Because usually in an RPG, man, something just hits you, you're dead. Like if you're fighting against a tough, like you don't have any see the future type of stuff in most RPGs, like especially when you're fighting the tough enemies. So Yeah, so I can see why some people love it and some people hate it, or some people are just indifferent on it. So
I'm kind of where you are. Like I just I love the first one, and I love the second one as well. But I guess I wasn't expecting the same stuff from the an X that I got out of Chronicles, because I knew it was kind of a spinoff kind of deal. But I really love like mechs and stuff, so that was a big thing for me. And it had a whole Avatar feel to it, which I also love.
You knew it was a different. You knew it was a different type of game. Like they weren't trying to say it was like a direct sequel. Like from the very beginning, they're like here's mechs. Like the first trailer, here's mechs.
Right.
Here's this open world. Like there's no narrative like that they even showed off compared to what they were showing off when Xenoblade Chronicles was first announced. So yeah, I mean,
it was a big sci-fi like epic intro, and then from there it was kind of a quirky story. I mean, there was some serious stuff in like chapter 8. I think it really got serious when like the attack on New LA happened and stuff. But for the most part, it was just kind of quirkiness to the game that I wasn't expecting. But I ended up loving it. But do we want to? I see a lot of chatter in the chat, the live chat about review scores and stuff, and it's like this game's got the exact same Metacritic as X, and it's not going to be one of those mass like 9 or 9.5, 10 out of 10s from the majority of people. It's not that type of game.
And RPGs tend to be polarizing anyway.
So it's like, I didn't even know the review score of X until yesterday. Somebody was talking about it. And it's like, who cares? Like, but I did listen to GameSpot's review, and that dude is you could tell he's totally biased against JRPGs from the first sentence. He was already taking shots at the game. And it's just
that's how it is. That's why these Japanese developers are always worried about their games. That's why the translations take so long. That's why the localizations take. Like Persona, they were so crazy about the English version of the game. It caused the ridiculous delays over and over and over. And they were generally enthused when the game was actually getting great reviews. But Persona 5 is particularly so basic and simple in terms of like what you do in order to cater to the American, to like worldwide fan base. They already knew they were going to get people in Japan through the basic setup, but it's such a basic setup as far as what you do. I mean, there's depth, don't get me wrong, but it's so basic as far as what they do, because they're trying to make sure that they didn't tilt the Western base, for this type of game, and they were able to successfully do that. Whereas compared to an RPG like Xenoblade that has all this stuff in it, that's going to confuse, and that's going to turn off a lot of, well, not a lot, but a good amount of Western press,
Yeah, I heard somebody complaining that it might have been the GameSpot one, like the rare blades are too rare. Like, I can't find a rare blade. Well, it would be a rare blade if it wasn't hard to get. And
I can't find a rare blade. It's a rare blade. But they showed us so many rare blades beforehand.
Now, if he was allowed to buy it or gamble for it, then he'd probably been cool with it.
Much better. Much better. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't care about the reviews. I mean, this game, I was gonna buy it, and like I even called it. I said this game, like when the Famitsu review came out, I was like, this game is going to get low. It's going to get low to mid 80s. It's going to be right in that Metacritic range. I already knew it's going to be right there in that range, low to mid 80s, because there's going to be people that love it, give it 9s, give it 8.5, whatever. Then there's going to be that dude that's like, well, you know what? The last RPG I played was Final Fantasy VI. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that one was okay, I think. They don't even remember. So, I mean, that's who gets some of these reviews, and so that's what's just going to happen. So,
and can I just, as somebody who wasn't a big RPG fan, X was really my first, like, big, epic, like, game of that style. And just to compare Xenoblade Chronicles 2 for somebody who didn't have a Wii U and looking at this game, and maybe that's not their cup of tea, because the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 starts off in like a small little area, and your first battle's like in this, you can barely even move around. It's on that little Rex's little Titan. For somebody who hadn't played any of these games, maybe had a Switch and was like trying this type of game, I feel like X was the better like intro, because of you started out like away from New LA, you're out in the wilderness, so you had that already in that big open world setting when you're doing your first battles and kind of learning the game. Whereas this game's a little more, the tutorials definitely more helpful, but it's really slows down for somebody who knows what they're doing. It kind of interrupted what I wanted to do just because they got to make the game for beginners. So with my hour and a half playtime with this, thinking back to X, I think X probably would be the better game to like start for somebody who's not into this, maybe is on the fence about RPGs and stuff. So that was just one little thing I noticed was the opening was a little less like I wasn't. I imagine if I didn't play X and I just started with this game, the intro might not have hooked me like X's intro did. So if that makes any sense, just anybody out there, if you're on the fence about this type of game.
I wouldn't go back to Wii U if you got to switch, but
No.
I would just start with Xeno 2, and if you want to work your way back, I mean, you can work your way back. Just because
But X is still a great looking game. I was just playing it not that long ago, and it really held up.
I was live streaming. I was live streaming it just a few like a month or two ago. I live streamed multiple episodes. I love X. Don't get me wrong, I love X. But if you have a Switch and you want to play Switch, I mean, going back to Wii U, the only thing that I would say is if you don't like. If someone has a Switch and like they're trying to look and maybe they want to get into it, I've seen a lot of people who don't have Wii U's but they have a Switch. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And the mechanic of with X is looking back and forth. That's like mechanic or like using the gamepad because that game forces you to use the gamepad even if you're using a Pro controller. You've got to use the gamepad to do certain things. So if you're someone that might be a little bit jarring for people if you weren't used to that. You know what I'm saying? If you have a Switch and you're just used to looking at one screen and just playing the games normally, having to use two controllers if you want to use a Pro controller can be very jarring for some. So that's just another thing.
I actually miss having that map. Right, like I was missing having a map.
That's one of my favorite things about it. Is that
especially once I get further in the game, I imagine when the areas get bigger, that's when I'll miss it the most. But it is what it is. I'll take the portability and the awesomeness of the Switch over that. But
show.
Yeah, definitely. So does anybody have anything else that they want to add in terms of Xenoblade Chronicles 2 or looking forward to? Is anything like that?
And I just want to say that we talk about the character designs and stuff. I'm not like the most diehard anime fan. Like I watched a few movies and stuff. I never got into the series, but this art style really does work, and it's not your. I know it has tropes, I guess, from what people are saying of the typical anime, but for me, it like really helps with the character, the character expressions, which was sorely missing from X. So I don't know if anybody's weirded out or insecure about anime art style. Like, I mean, I guess that's their problem. But for me, like this art style with the anime characters versus whatever you want to call X's character designs. I don't know what you want to call them, but Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is definitely, it works and it's for the benefit of the game, for the expressiveness of the characters and stuff. It's really actually I don't know what the word is. The decision to go with that over what they had before, what the earlier version of this game looked like at the reveal, I think it was definitely the right decision to go with the style they went with for the characters, because they do blend in really good with the environments and stuff. So
completely agree.
Yeah, I'm just a big I'm a Takahashi Xenoblade fan, so pretty much anything they do, I'm like, it's good. Like it has to be pretty bad. It has to be like really, really bad for me to just say something. I've been playing Monolith Soft games before they were even known as Monolith Soft. These guys have been in the business for 20 plus years. We're dating back to like Breath of Fire and Secret of Mana and Chrono Trigger. I mean, they have like scatters of all these different guys that worked on different projects at Square Enix. Square Enix got crazy. Like the late 90s, like they lost their mind, and these guys were like, we out. You know what I'm saying? Like all the good guys were like, we're out, and they formed Monolith Soft. And then Bandai, I think it was just Bandai at that time, or it was just Namco, one of those two, just before it became Bandai Namco. Picked them up and said, hey, we have Xenogears, make this work on the PS1, and they did the Xeno Saga trilogy, and that's when they became legend to me. And they've done other games as well. So like I said, it has to be pretty bad for me not to, for me to be, like oh I don't like this or something like that, because I'm just huge Monolith Soft fan. But yeah, man, I agree with the character design and everything. Everything I like the style of it. Obviously, I'm a huge anime fan. So yeah, it looks Looks great. Looks great to me. No complaints here, man. So yeah, let's go ahead and we're gonna move on to the next one. I see a lot of comments here. A lot of you guys are talking about a bunch of different stuff. Love it. Keep up the comments, guys. Also, if you guys don't mind, I mean, we got a lot of people in here, but if we can hit that like button, let's get us kind of trending a little bit more. That would be fantastic if we can hit that like button, guys. We at 48. It'd be cool if we can get to 100. So let's go ahead and move on to the next topic here. And we're going to talk, recently there was some sales data that have came out from Japan. I'm pretty sure you guys have all seen the sales data for Japan. But the Switch sold, I think, almost 145,000 units for the past week in Japan. Yeah. It outsold every other system combined and then ×2. It really did really well. Nintendo put in a really big allotment. It's getting there for the holidays. And the Switch selling that much kind of caused some people to lose their mind. Like, it wasn't like usually it's pretty bad. I mean, you hear things, but when even people mentioned it, now the site that I'm going to talk about, like I said, a good site, good reviewers, good moderators, but Gamatsu, this site Gamatsu, the users in this site, which are mainly Sony fans, PlayStation 4 fans, they lost their mind. They absolutely lost their mind on this one. But I do want to get you guys' opinion on the Switch selling that much. And what we're hearing, it's not just Japan. Adobe Digital or Adobe Insight or whatever, they tracked a bunch of different stores, over like 5,000 stores in North America. And according to their charts, the Nintendo Switch was the top selling. It was the top selling item on Thanksgiving and then also on Black Friday as well. And then even Cyber Monday. So yeah. And then it was like in the top 5 even leading up to Black Friday, Thanksgiving, and all of that stuff. So the Switch is doing extremely well. So I wanted to get you guys' initial reactions as far as just the Switch sales. How do you guys feel about it? We'll start with Terminator. What was your reaction when you saw that like jump? Because it went from like 80-something thousand to 140-something thousand, you know, so it was a pretty big, sizable jump.
Yeah, that's just obviously Nintendo has ramped up their production, because I don't know what the sales have been, like the launch sales in Japan. I forget what the actual numbers were, but that has to be the biggest since the launch.
It's the biggest since the launch. 300,
yeah.
I think it was 350 or 360,000 at launch, and then the next biggest total, they hit about 100,000 like around when Splatoon came out, like 99 to 100,000.
Yeah.
That was the next biggest one.
So I mean, that's good. I mean, it's still probably immediately sold out in Japan, and people are still trying to get it, but it's good that they can ramp up those numbers. And if just judging off the last few years, you know, Wii U was struggling, but it always did pretty well this time of year. And if, you know, the Wii U didn't have shortages, so it's going to be hard to predict, but I predict like every week in December in Japan it'll be over 100,000 if they're made, if they have enough stock. I just see, you know, huge things, and Mario Odyssey and Zelda getting huge spikes, and it's just amazing to think about where we were a year ago when we knew what the Switch was. But you know, you had some people doing live streams during the reveal, and they had the salty face and never got over it.
He did it.
You know,
I don't know who you're talking about, dude. Like, what are you talking about?
We had, I mean, OJ, you came to terms with it. There was a lot of people, it was very split at the time. And to some people, they probably wouldn't even thought the Switch would, you know, sold a couple million in its first year, let alone what probably going to be closer to 13. So it's just crazy to think about where we were a year ago with all the doubt, all the, you know, negativity from the Wii U end of its life. You know, you had, it was just a bad time, and to think where we are now, it's just a complete it's a complete change. So, you know, and those sales definitely have turned a lot of people back towards Nintendo, but still some people not so much. So
yeah, you know, and if you guys want to know what he's talking about, I did a reveal. Just look up the Nintendo NX Switch reveal on my channel. You guys will know exactly what Terminator is talking about. My reaction was very much like my reaction right now, my face. I think I had my hand up to my face and I was laughing. My reaction was funny. I thought it was funny how wrong I was. That's it's like, how can you be more wrong? Okay, well, here you go.
Yeah, and
What's this?
your partner there, Dave. I don't think he's gotten over it yet, honestly.
No.
Well, I mean, who knows? I mean, who knows on that?
I was just surprised that it was.
I gotta have you on more, Terminator. You're awesome, dude. Mr. T, what do you think about this, man?
And shout out to Saltface. Shout out to SMG Saltface. That guy's awesome.
That guy's a heck of a troll, is he?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, wait a minute, that's only in Japan? I was blown away. I was like, first of all, I didn't realize that they were able to get that much stock, but even with them getting stock, I was like 145,000 in Japan alone for a week. That's insane. Like, Nintendo, you got to get your stock up, man. Because I remember thinking about the Wii and like, I think the numbers on the Wii are so all over the place. I could have sworn I saw 110 million at the end of the day, but somebody was like said 101. Anyway, but it was like
101, 102. That's where they're about right now.
They left so much money on the table because they were caught off guard with the demand for the Wii, and it's somewhat similar to with the Switch, but a lot of it had to do with also the Apple, taking the flash drives or
the NAND memory was
so
like Apple, and it was a couple other companies, and Apple obviously gets first dibs on everything, So.
Yeah. So it wasn't so much they just they were. It was just, they couldn't do. There was nothing they can do about that situation. So, but man, I was like that's unbelievable for a week in Japan, and I was just like, man.
Yeah, I had to rub my eyes, dude. I had to I woke up in the morning and somebody sent it to me. I had
to watch at least 3 videos before it sunk in that was just for Japan. I could not believe it.
I thought it was 45,000. That's what I thought. It was like when I first saw it, I was like, oh, 45,000. Then there was a 1. And I was like, what? Wait, hold up. I thought it was like 45,000. I was like, yeah, it was insane, man. Crazy.
It's a great thing to see. I'm very happy to see that because it's an awesome system. It's quickly becoming my favorite Nintendo console of all time, which is, my N64. I love that thing to death, and it's creeping up on it. So already in its first 8 months, 9 months, pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So Jamie, man, I know you've been in hiding, but as far as your, I don't know if you look at these things, but Jamie, what do you think about the sales as far as it hit, that high?
What's astonishing to me is that in under a year, the Switch is going to outdo Wii U's lifetime sales.
Yeah,
like we're going to hit that before we even get to the first anniversary of the system. But here's the thing. It doesn't surprise me terribly much how well it's selling in Japan because ever since the launch, I mean, you've had thousands of people lining up to do a lottery for the chance to buy a Switch. So Nintendo rectifying the supply problems they've had, it doesn't surprise me that much. I mean, yeah, it's a little surprising that, wow, it's selling that much, but at the same time, if they've got the stock out there in Japan, it's selling. I mean, they have like Monster Hunter, which is massive over there on the Switch, and they're a portable society at this point. Mm. So you have this massive portable system that's also utility, and it's the perfect system for Japan, and it's starting to catch on with everyone else everywhere too. So it's the perfect thing. So the sales don't surprise me that much, and I'm going to toot my own horn a little bit here, because if we go back a few years, and yes, I'm saying a few years here, there was an early Gamers at Large podcast that we did, and I honestly want to go back to the archives and find which one it was. But we were discussing, well, what could come after the Wii U, et cetera, et cetera. And I was like, look, so here's what I think. I laid out the entire game plan of what I thought Nintendo could do, and it was like the Switch verbatim.
I remember that. I remember you doing that.
This is what I was paying attention to, the patents they were doing. I was paying attention to all the news. I was paying attention to everything. Mm. And I laid out, point by point by point, what the Switch is going to be years ago. Mm. And I knew if they hit it, as much as we were transferring to smartphones and tablets, if Nintendo could do that and deliver both a tablet and a console experience in one, they were going to knock it out of the park.
I watched that podcast. I remember watching that. I remember shaking my head like, what is this guy talking about?
Yeah. See, my main issue was all the way up until basically the Switch reveal with that idea was that man, that tablet is going to be on fire after a couple hours. Like, how are they going to get it to where it's not burning up? You know, and I just could not get my head around the fact that they would be able to have the technology to make a 3D system with that power and still not burn up your house. You know,
I didn't think they wanted to give up having both, like having dual revenue. That's what I thought.
That's that too.
That's it. But I think the market moved them.
Yeah, the writing was on the wall for the handheld anyway. So
exactly. So the thing is, I made a video on my channel probably 2 years ago. I had gotten, I don't know, it had to be longer, man. I had gotten a Samsung Galaxy S5 smartphone, and just for the heck of it, I downloaded a graphics testing app, and I ran it. And on my smartphone, it was putting out graphics like I didn't think were possible on smartphones, and that's when I saw it. I'm like, this is the direction we're going. So that sealed it for me a long time ago, because a lot of people were just like, oh, well, smartphone games are stupid and I hate them and no one plays them and they're all stupid Candy Crush and Angry Birds. No. There's way more to it. You see Nintendo now raking in all the money with Fire Emblem Heroes and Animal Crossing now on there, but you also have other games like Final Fantasy Exvius as well, which are like just bring in so much money for these companies, and there also can be graphically intensive games. And there are 3D games like Gear Club, for example, is releasing on the Switch soon, and that's just support from the mobile version.
Oh, it's out already.
Oh, it's out already. Okay.
Yeah,
it's just show you how much I care about the game.
You're not the only one who doesn't care.
Apparently, though, it's a fairly solid game, though.
Yeah, that's what I hear. But like, I could probably download it on my smartphone, my Galaxy S7, and it would be the same game I could play on Switch, with very little graphical difference. And that's the thing, is a lot of people have been blindsided by this because they haven't been paying attention. And I've always enjoyed tech, even when I was a little kid that couldn't afford more than like, you know, a 13 CRT TV to play Final Fantasy on. But I've paid attention over the years, and this is where the market has forced Nintendo. So, again, rolling back to the sales, I'm not shocked like everyone else is. I'm heartened by it. I'm a little surprised by the amount, but I'm not shocked to this point that a lot of other people are.
I mean, I thought it would do well. I just didn't know if it would do this well. Like
I didn't think it'd do that well. I didn't think it'd do as well as this. Like, I'm on T's boat with this one. Like, I didn't think it would do this well. But then once I guess, like, I'm talking about the beginning, you know, like now that we got like announcements for like Pokemon, like, you know, Japanese gamers know Pokemon's coming. Everyone knows Pokemon's coming. Like, you might as well buy one because it's not going to get a price drop, you know. Like, you had some gamers telling you go get wait for a price drop. Like, no. There's not going to be any, like, you know, there's not going to be any price drop.
You not know Nintendo at this point?
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't even what price drop? We didn't even get a price drop on Wii U. Like,
Wii U still $300 like that.
All they did was just say, okay, like, they dropped it. Like, what did they do? They put it at 300. That's all they did, really. But there was already a model at 300. All they did was give you the premium version for 300. So there was really no real price drop. It was still the same price, you know. So that's the thing. Like, I was shocked at the beginning, but then as we started finding out like what the Switch was, what it can do, and as you actually get it in your hands and you start playing, like, okay, wow, this is gonna do something. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like magic. Like when you first play it, you know.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of gamers out there that still haven't played it yet. They need to, and you know, the ones that are kind of hating and stuff, like, they need to play, actually give it a chance. If you give it a chance, you realize that not only is it it can be a great main system for you. You know what I'm saying? If you actually have like a job and other things that you have to do, you can't sit in your room and play video games all day. It's a great main system, but then also it can also be a companion to the PS4, Xbox One, or PC, because you can't lug those around with you anywhere else that you go. You know, so
yeah, and I haven't honestly. I'd say in the last month, I bet you 95% of my playtime has been docked too. I haven't really even been taking advantage of the portable nature, and it doesn't feel any less of a great system, even when you're not taking advantage of, you know, its biggest selling point over the competition. Just keeping it docked and playing with the Pro Controller still, to me, feels just as much of a main console as anything else I've ever had. So
people don't realize it's not just about, oh, I can take this and play it like I would a 3DS. You don't have to leave your house to get the benefit of the Switch. Just being able to like pull that thing out. Like for me, like I you know, as a dad, as a husband, I feel like bad when I'm like in my hermit mode and I'm in my room gaming or whatever, playing, and the kids or whatever. So I like to be able to like at least be in their vicinity around them, so I can just pull the thing out of the dock and keep playing my full-fledged console game in my house, anywhere in the house I want to. And that is a very cool thing. That is a the Wii U, you could do it, but sometimes you'd lose the signal, and it was just like, but this thing is just, you get the same experience, exact same experience. You don't, and with the Wii U you also lost, major resolution. You went from HD down to like, 480p, which isn't awesome. So it's not just about being able to take it, out of the house, but anywhere in your house is also a cool thing.
I think some gamers don't understand that concept yet, though, because they
well, I mean, a lot of gamers they're not in our situation. They're not in the situation. A lot of gamers play video games in a room in their parents' house or in a room in their own house. They don't have any other distractions. But for guys like you and me, that is a big thing for us. So
I'm also lazy. So, I mean, like, that's another thing. I'm also extremely, although I do a lot of work on it, I'm also extremely lazy, and I don't like sitting up all the time and playing games. I'd rather just, like, lie down and literally be lazy. Like, there's times I have food right next to me. I'm literally lying down and playing a game, like a sloth or something like that, or like Snorlax or something, man. So I'm also very lazy. So I play games lying down all the time. I know I say it a lot, but I'm literally, like, my brother makes fun of me all the time. Like when I go, like when my brother's there and I'm at my mom's house and I'm literally doing what I say that I do in my videos. He just makes fun of me the whole time for saying, "Oh, look, he's actually lying down while he's playing." You know what I'm saying? He's not lying, guys. Like he'll joke around about that. So
I can't play the Switch lying down.
I can.
I got bad. My wrist. I can't do it. But okay. Jamie, you were saying something.
That's the thing with me is, I've got a bad back. And I've had that issue for years. And there are plenty of days where I'll go and work, 8+ hours and then come home. And I don't want to do anything but just lay in bed and stretch out. And the Switch is perfect. So I'll just grab it, hang in bed. Maybe I just want a relaxing day, pop up some Stardew Valley, and just chill out in bed. It's awesome. Yeah. And then cats pile on top of me, and it's weird.
That is a great game just to relax and play.
Stardew Valley? It is.
Fall asleep and play.
Yeah. This game. I'm at 70 hours, so yeah.
So is Farming Simulator. Hey, OJ? Huh?
Oh, gosh. Dude, I have no idea what I'm doing in that game. That game was like hardcore, man. Like if you brought over a farmer, he'd be like, "What are you doing? Give me this." You put on his hat and just start, like, that game is like, it feels like it's like real. Like, you actually doing work. I need to get paid for this, man.
Yeah.
Like, that game was, I don't know, man. Like... I was horrible. Couldn't attach the little thing. Couldn't.
It was entertaining, I'll tell you that.
Man, that was the only video I made on that one, bro.
Getting back to the Switch sales, though, it's like, how can this thing be selling? It's not 4K. It's not through VR. It does,
VR, yeah.
It doesn't have a terabyte hard drive. How is this thing selling? It makes no sense.
This hard drive stuff, man. I just want to slap new school gamers.
These guys made me do a 26-minute video about that.
God, I just want to slap new school gamers as if hard drives are normal. Like, no, they're not.
I will say, though, 2 third-party games that require external memory, I've spoke about it many times. I hope that third parties don't make that like an absolute every game has it, because it could become a problem later. But for the physical version, where you have to have additional memory.
The PS1, the PS1 and PS2 had every game that required external
I know,
memory.
but I'm hoping
Look, we've had this conversation on the Juices Loose podcast. We've gone back and forth about this so much. But yeah,
I'm used to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is some PS2's you guys know, like, PS2 is my favorite system of all time. Well, no. Like, it's up there. It's like top. It's either number 1 or number 2, whatever. Super Nintendo, then PS2. Okay.
All those RPGs.
Yeah, it's Super Nintendo and PS2. Those are my favorite. Like, and I had like 5 memory cards for my PS2. Yeah, it kind of sucked. I mean, whatever the case was, but it was fine. Like I just
GameCube's the same way.
Yeah, GameCube's the same way.
GameCube came. Every game came with a little memory card slot in the back in the box.
Same thing with PS2. Yeah, same thing.
Yeah, you're gonna have to
trying to tell you to buy a memory card for every game because it was just the struggle was that real.
Especially for Sony, because Sony they made a lot off their memory, like with the PS2.
Yeah, Nintendo was $20 and you only basically could fill one game. It took one game or one card to save Madden.
Oh gosh,
and it's $20 card.
Sports saves were so big back in the day.
Oh yeah, like the career modes and stuff. You pretty much even on PS2.
On Nintendo, the GameCube cards were just way too small. And they were like, what, 1/20th or something, the size of the PlayStation.
You could buy third party though. You could buy some third party ones with bigger.
Yeah, they have third party big ones.
Eventually. I'm talking like the early days.
Yeah, the early days. It was rough.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, eventually, you know, if we'll see if the 32 gig card, like Nintendo Switch card, become more commonplace, that could alleviate a lot of this. That happens.
Yeah, that's what I was saying about the N64s. Like the early N64 cartridges were 8 megabytes, 16 and 20 something, I guess. And none of the third parties wanted to touch the bigger carts because they were way too expensive when it first came out. It wasn't until later when the carts got cheaper you started seeing bigger games on the cart. So it's a similar situation. Like everybody wanted cartridges to come back, but it has its advantages, but it also has its disadvantages. So you just got to deal with it.
There's also cloud memory. I think that's also something Nintendo can
cloud memory is another thing
to help alleviate some of the issues. I think Xbox One I know Xbox 360 had cloud memory. Does Xbox One have it? And PS1?
I know the Xbox One apparently had they were talking about a solution that games would take less space, and I don't know if that was before it released. I don't know if that's actually true or not, because I know the Xbox One original versus the PS4, like it was way worse as far as the same games. For whatever reason, the PlayStation 4 has a better way of like the file size or something is smaller. I don't know how it works, but I got like 7-8 games on my PS4, and I still have like between 200 and 300 gigs available. So, you know, whereas Xbox, T was said many times, like 6-7 games, and he was
6-7 games. My Xbox is done. It's like done already.
Yeah, my Xbox was. I mean, I remember at one point I had Halo 5, Gears of War, and Destiny. It's gone. There's nothing left after that.
Yeah.
There's nothing left after that.
Yeah, with 4K, I mean the
4K one's gonna be even worse.
Yeah, like I was like, I'm done. I think that at that point I was like, I'm done. I'm not probably ever gonna play this system again. Like realistically, like unless it's something that I really want, like Cuphead or something like that. But even then, someone just gifted me Cuphead on Steam, so it was just like, well, there you go. Well, I was gonna buy Cuphead, but then I just got a gift, So yeah, I mean, for me, it's just one of those things. I just don't feel like worrying about the memory and doing all that type of stuff. I have no problem like getting like an external memory for Xbox One or whatever. If I ever decide to, maybe I'll do it. Maybe I won't. But yeah, I don't. I mean, ever since I got the Switch, I don't really play. I'll play PC. I've been playing PC a bit, but not really anything.
The Switch, has it done? You would have done. It spoiled the hell out of me. It's like I don't want to be stuck to my TV. You know, like like so. I look at my other consoles, like. Y'all too old school for me.
Yeah, no, it's the truth, man. I mean, there's times where I'm like, okay, well, yeah, like, because like my daughter, that's the biggest thing. It's like I need to do something, or if I see an article that comes out, you know, it's cool, just like put it in portable mode. I'm researching, I have it right there, you know, while the videos are uploading, I have it right there. I can play, you know, in portable. Like, there's so many times I'm playing it right in portable mode while I'm right there trying to work. So yeah, I've been spoiled too by the Switch. It's just the perfect system for what I like to do. You know,
for the last week. I know for the last week I was playing South Park Fractured But Whole, you know, on PS4, and there were constant times I was thinking, why can't I just go lay in bed and play this? Why do I have to be here on the couch in front of my TV?
Persona is the worst PS4. Persona 5 is the worst PS4 game ever. It's horrible. It's the worst PS4 game ever because you literally press X the whole time. You're just like you're just pressing the X button. Like I've played Persona games. I've been playing Persona games for a while now. Okay, I love Persona 4 Golden. That is a great game. It's on PS Vita. It works. The whole relationship things, like there's no need for this game to be propped up on a TV the whole time. Like there's no need for it. it'd be such a better Switch game if they were able to do it. But in my opinion, like I love Persona 5. I think the game is great, but it's a horrible PS4 game. I mean, I would have even liked the Vita version. If they made it on Vita, I would have been like, cool, Vita, Persona 5. I'd be down, completely down for Persona 5 on the Vita. But it's just on the PS4. There's so many times I was literally lying down on the ground and just pressing the X button, getting through battles, like, you know, walking. There's no. It's a horrible PS4 game, but whatever, you know.
Well, that's the thing about, you know, what T was saying earlier. It's not just the portable take it out of your home, but grinding on our big RPG like Xenoblade Chronicles 2 while either checking in on a football game or, you know, when the playoffs start in January, you know, to me, like, I don't have to miss out. But I don't really, at the same time, when I'm like distracted watching football, let's say if you like a different sport like college basketball or something, like I don't want to do some major monumental part in the game while I'm just watching sports at the same time, but the small, like, grinding like a ridiculous side quest that's just like, you know, just fetch quest stuff to level up and get experience, and, like, you know, I guess you can level up like the towns or like that you're in by doing side quests and stuff. That's the kind of stuff that for me is great. And you know, like the small, like the minor, like move in Mario Odyssey, once I beat the game, you know, that kind of stuff is perfect for just pull it off the system, where especially if you don't have to constantly, like an RPG like this, you know, I played X off TV a lot on the Wii U, and when you're not constantly having to do like quick actions and movements with your hand, you can just kind of relax with it there and do your battle and just kind of check, you know, whatever's on the TV, you know. It's like a perfect blend, and that's why I was so happy when, I don't know if OJ, we had a little podcast while, you know, before the Switch came out, and I said one of the things I absolutely wanted was a second screen experience just for like off TV play, especially. And then, you know, I got that with the Switch, and it's so great to, as a football fan, to be able to watch a game but still not have to give up, you know, the grinding in an RPG or something, and, you know, kind of blend those two things together, and it's just an amazing experience.
I'm a 49ers fan, so there's nothing important going on the screen for me. So it's okay for me.
You might as well, you might as well put the Switch on your TV screen.
Hey, Giants fan over here, so
man, y'all worse than us.
we're worse than you guys. So don't even.
How'd you guys lose to us?
And that's the thing, is I moved to Pittsburgh a year and a half ago, and I feel like I'm obligated to watch sports here.
Yeah, you have to in Pittsburgh. That's
you know,
sports town for
it's
sure.
like, yeah, I mean, I'm not even joking here. It's like everything downtown is black and yellow. It's like, you know, the Wiz Khalifa song "Black and Yellow," that was about this city because he grew up here. I went to a Pirates game where he threw out the first pitch to that song, of course. But it's like our bridges are mandated to be yellow around downtown. There are black and yellow fire hydrants. There are signs for ATMs that are black and yellow. I'm not kidding. This is a sports city. They take pride in all three of their sports teams, even though the Pirates haven't won since the 70s.
Well, but the Pirates have been recently good though, like somewhat.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. I went to a dozen games last year. I love the Pirates.
Yeah. Dude, I live in Massachusetts. I'm a Giants, so I'm from New York, but I live in Massachusetts. And like the top story in the news is what Tom Brady had for lunch. Like I'm not even kidding. It's so annoying. I want to stab the TV. It's awful.
The thing with California, there's too many bandwagoning, too many flip-flopping, bandwagoning, can't stay allegiance to one team because California is so big and there's so many teams.
They got so many teams now.
All of a sudden, everyone's a Warriors fan. Everyone can see Warriors everywhere. Nobody knew a single Warriors player before Steph. Even when Steph Curry first got there, not a single Warriors jersey in sight.
Nobody said
I walk outside. Hey man, look at the Warriors. Let's go Warriors. And I'm like, where was this beforehand? When I was going to this kid, everyone wore Michael Jordan Bulls jersey. Everyone was a Bulls fan. And then Lakers, you know, everyone's a Lakers fan. Oh no, everyone's seriously.
I honestly didn't know where the Warriors played from. Is that like Idaho? Where the Warriors?
San Francisco Bay Area.
No, I know now. I
know
before. Like.
Yeah, oh god, this is California's the most flip flop because there's too many teams. Like we used to have the Raiders. The Raiders are moving. They're moving to Las Vegas, but Las Vegas is closer to me than San Francisco or than Oakland. So it's not going to change anything because Las Vegas is still closer than San Francisco or Sacramento or other places in California. So nothing's changing.
Welcome to the sports podcast, people.
Anyway, so yeah,
we lost like 100 viewers.
we'll move on from that. Move on from the flip-flop in California. I hate California when it comes to sports. I really do. I hate California. But anyway, let's go on. We're going to move on to a Q&A, guys. We pretty much got through all the topics here. We talked about some salt, talked about some other stuff when it comes to Switch sales and Xenoblade 2. So if you guys have any questions, please let us know. If you guys see any questions that you guys see that look good, anybody on the panel here, we'll definitely try to answer those. We'll be answering questions for at least 15-20 minutes.
Talking about in the live chat questions, or
chat in the live chat questions.
I want to say you made a great point in that last video.
Which one?
About
I haven't seen it.
Basically the one talking about third parties where Nintendo fans buying third-party games. Like, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Like, it's like, it's you guys don't buy them, but when you buy them, oh, that's old and that's not up to par. Like, you can't win.
What do you want us to do? Like, can you make up your minds? Okay, do you guys want us to buy it or not? Because before you said thank you for the third-party support. When the games were announced, when Doom and everything was announced, oh, thank us for it. I'm like, okay. Thank you. And then when we go buy it, oh, you're buying the inferior version. It's like, well, you just told us to thank you. Make up your mind.
There's a question in the chat. Who's going to buy ukulele for the Switch?
I'll be getting a review copy.
I bought it 2 years ago, so I'm definitely
pass.
Yeah, I'm passing.
I backed the game. That's what I'm saying.
I'll be getting a review copy. So you guys will get coverage on ukulele soon. I got to do Dimension Drive as well. I gotta get going with that game too.
I'll be impressed though if they can if that game runs well on the Switch, just because how long they took and with the problem with Unity and what even Rime using Unreal Engine couldn't run.
No, Rime uses
Rime had monkeys as programs. That's the problem with Rime.
So, but I will give them props if the Switch version of ukulele runs good, then I will definitely, even though I've been kind of negative on the game and just in general over the course of this year.
To me, it just feels like really some of the criticism is bogus because it's like, oh, we want a platformer like Banjo-Kazooie, but oh wait, it has all the problems that Banjo-Kazooie had back in 1990. It's like, what do you want? It's like you can't complain about the camera and a 3D platformer from the N64 era. Like those are things that happened. Those were issues. Like even with Mario 64. So I don't know.
Yeah, guys, let's not use Rime as. Or I'm talking to the chat and to the viewers, not you guys here. But let's not use Rime as a way that Unreal Engine 4 runs on. I mean, that's ridiculous. Like how bad that game runs. That's absolutely ridiculous. Like I've talked to developers, indie developers, and they're like, I don't know what happened. Like they're like Unreal Engine 4 should not be running. I mean, Snake Pass. I mean, Project Octopath is Unreal Engine 4. Nintendo has Yoshi on Unreal Engine 4. Yoshi looks amazing. That's on Unreal Engine 4.
Awesome.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of games that are on Unreal Engine 4 that look great, that run great on Switch. I don't know what happened with Rime.
Rime is not the barometer.
What's that one that just got announced for Coming to the West that runs on Unreal Engine 4 and actually looked the it's an RPG.
I missed that.
It's 5 in the series. I can't think of the name of the game.
RPG.
It's the 5th one in the series?
Exclusive, yeah. It's number 5. It's coming. They just did the reveal, or the...
Shin Megami Tensei.
Shin Megami my gosh.
Yeah.
Shame on me. Shame on you, OJ.
Well, when he said 5, there's way more than 5 Shin Megami Tensei.
This one's called 5.
There is, but yeah.
So it tripped me up. I was like 5.
You can kind of count Persona too, because Persona's a spin-off. So.
There's like 20.
The point is like that looks really good in that trailer. Whether that's actually running on Switch hardware or not, I don't know. But it looked. I was impressed with what I was seeing in the beginning.
I'd be pretty sure it was running on Switch hardware.
It's going to run. It's probably going to be. It's going to run fine on the Switch. I think it's. I mean, Nintendo's not going to let that one mess up. And it's a mainline Shin Megami Tensei. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a mainline Shin Megami Tensei. They're not going to. They don't mess that up. They take that very seriously. And I've played all the Shin Megami Tensei games. I've played all the ones, especially the 3DS ones. Those are great. And it looks like they're following in like footsteps of like Nocturne, which was on PS2. So yeah, it's looking good, man.
You want to say hi? Say hi.
Hi.
That's my little girl.
How's she doing?
She's great.
Good,
She's
good.
gone.
So she's out.
Yeah, she's out.
Shout outs to Jack Gates for the $5 super chat donation. He says, "Great podcast, guys. So, question: is Capcom gonna do what everyone hopes they do Monday or not?" I think we can talk about that.
What are they supposed to do?
Oh yeah.
There's a live stream that we need to make sure that we tune into, a Mega Man live stream. You know,
They told press to make sure they turn in. You don't want to miss it.
you don't want to miss this one, guys. And one of the questions with this was what's the what are the chances, OJ, that like if they announce a new Mega Man game that it's not on the Switch, like a scale of 1 to 10. I said it's like a 6. I said it's like a 6 or 7. I said it's like a 6 or 7. I was like, there's a very good chance they announce a Mega Man game and it's not going to come to Switch. It's a very good chance.
That's I didn't even.
I guess
Funny thing, I didn't even think about that. Like, there's just no way they cannot announce it for Switch. But I did. Yeah, actually, there is a way.
There is.
I think there's 90% chance it isn't coming to Switch if there is a new Mega Man.
I won't give it that high. I'll give it a good, maybe a 50, maybe 50 to 60% chance. But I mean, I'm definitely the fact that it's even anything above like 100% that it's going to come to Switch. Like the fact that's how we are. That's where we are with Capcom, right? Like the fact that it's not like a lock-in guarantee, you know. And like some people in the chat, they're saying like, "Oh, well, what if it's a mobile game? You know, like what if it's just like a?" Like,
oh God, if they do that, they're gonna piss off so many people. They do mobile.
Can I throw you guys a curveball here?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, think about this for a second. Nintendo's been awfully fond of doing a lot of licensing and publishing for third parties recently. What if they worked closely with Capcom, and Capcom's going to reveal multiple Mega Man games, one of which has been developed and produced by Nintendo?
That would be hype.
That would be great.
That would be like super
I just want Legends, you know. So.
Yeah, think about how they did Mega Man in Smash, right? They already have all those Mega Man assets on hand. Why not use them for something else?
That would be great.
I would love it. I think that. I mean, I'm not the biggest Mega Man fan, but it would be great. It would be fantastic. It would be really good. Now, one thing, guys, there's this picture of Grand Theft Auto 5 apparently running on the Switch. That's making the rounds right now on the internet, and I wanted to get to it before any of you guys asked me about it, because I know somebody would ask me about this. But Direct Feed Games, who definitely has inside sources, and I mean he's told me about things well before that they happened, and I'm like, oh, it happened. He's like, yeah, I know, because I told you. You know, so Direct Feed Games says this is starting to make the rounds on Twitter. Discussion first. Take a look at the cash amount at the upper right corner. The final digit, which appears to be an 8, is cut in half. Could GTA 5 find its way to Nintendo Switch? Yes, but is this a leak? It has no signs of being legit. So that's what he already says. Now, real quick, guys, I'm going to put it up for you guys just so you guys can see. So people that are watching the stream, you guys can see it right here. And what he's talking about is if you look in the upper right-hand corner, you see that the 8 is cut off there. So he's saying that it looks like somebody superimposed the picture onto there. So if you guys are going to ask me about this, it looks like it's fake, guys.
You got to get your Photoshop skills up.
Yeah.
Yeah, why would it doesn't even fit to the screen?
Yeah.
It's not that hard to fake it and make it look good.
Yeah, definitely. Especially with this Switch here. I mean, it's not even a dev kit Switch. It's an actual, you know, the dev kit Switches are all black. I mean, I know there's some of them to where they look like this. Like, you can put your own Joy-Cons on them. But it would definitely, if this was like an older pick, it would definitely be all black on there. It would not be like this. So
yeah, how is it on a I don't even know if that's a real Switch with the A, B, X, Y buttons looking a little, like the white lettering looks a little off to me, but
it could just be the lighting from the
But why would it be on the retail unit, not a dev kit one? I don't know if you just said that, but
yeah,
like why would it be on a actual?
Makes no sense.
Yeah. So that's that, guys. So I just wanted to bring that up.
I don't know about that, but like Nintendo, whenever they're ready with the online stuff and they're ready for the apps, Rainway needs to be a thing. And I'm gonna tell you because I know at least 12, maybe more PC dudes, like straight up PC guys, who have a Switch and they love it. And if they had Rainway on that thing, that would be a nice incentive for them as well. So like I feel like there's a good market of PC guys who would definitely utilize Rainway on Switch. So absolutely. I think they should make that a thing.
Absolutely, I would definitely. I mean, I would utilize it for some things. I know,
Yeah, I'm sure more people would, but I just noticed like a lot of PC guys who have Switches now. That's a system that makes sense to them, where Xbox One doesn't, or even a PS4 doesn't, because they're like, well, I can run all these games way better. But the Switch offers me something different, and that's why I think they latch onto the Switch more than even those other consoles. So
yeah, we'll see if it happens. I mean, I know you guys probably all saw that interview with John from Spawnwave. They seem pretty confident that they can get it done. So we'll just have to kind of wait and see on that one. But is there any other questions here from the chat? I'm trying to look through, trying to see. But a lot of guys are saying it's fake. So yeah, definitely.
Oh, it's 100%.
Yeah, it's 100% fake. Yeah. So.
From a guy who dabbles in Photoshop a lot, that looks pretty fake to me.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, any other questions? So okay, L Jinx says Nintendo of America retweeted the Mega Man event. Can anybody confirm that Nintendo of America retweeted the Mega Man event?
It's probably one of that fake Nintendo America account.
Oh no!
Yeah, it's probably that fake. Is it that fake?
Make sure you check the
me.
followers before you get excited on those.
Yeah, check the followers.
Those tweets.
Because I don't see this retweeting the Mega Man event. I don't see it.
Nintendo America .1.
let me check my let me check my Twitter.
Yeah, I don't see it. I don't see it.
They wouldn't let that cat out of the bag if it was true anyway.
Yeah.
They did actually.
Oh yeah, they did.
One day, yeah, they retweeted it.
I'm stupid. It's right in front of my face. Yeah, they said ready the Mega Man. Okay.
I didn't check it.
This actually increases the possibility.
Oh no! Why'd you go and do that, Nintendo of America?
Okay. There's no way that they wouldn't. There's no way they would. They would like.
It has something to do with them.
There's no way because Nintendo doesn't promote other people's products. Although
my head's about to explode.
Yeah, although Microsoft and not Sony. Well, Sony has developers that make games for Nintendo systems, but Nintendo doesn't promote any other products. Like they don't say anything about other companies. Like for the most part, they usually stay hush about things. Microsoft is like, hey, we love everyone. Yeah, okay, guys, never mind. I actually bumped it up to a 99.9%.
Oh man,
chance.
now I have to watch. I wasn't even gonna.
Yeah, there's actually a very high chance that there's going to be a Mega Man game for a Nintendo system, whether it's 3DS or whether it's Switch.
It better not be 3DS at this point.
Mega Man Collection.
Yeah, maybe Mega Man Collection. Maybe that's coming. We'll see. I mean, we'll see. I mean, I wouldn't buy that, but I know there's people that really wanted it. I know.
I'd like a Mega Man Legends collection.
That's not gonna happen to you. It's not gonna happen. Capcom is very stubborn. Like they're very prideful, very stubborn. Like they're not gonna bring back Mega Man Legends.
Mega Man Legends collection made sense in like May, June.
I would love it. I want it. But
I'm just meant as far as like me caring about it. I don't care.
Okay. I would like it to come just because it'd be cool, I guess, to play on the go, right? Like to have before you have to buy Mega Man.
Well, of course.
I mean, like if you buy Mega Man on Wii U, you got to buy Mega Man on 3DS. You know what I'm saying? Like if you want the virtual console stuff like that, it's like you don't got.
Yeah, I was one of the people that were like, "Why didn't they do this already?" I had video of it.
Yeah,
Mega Man Collection should be a thing on Switch. What are they waiting for?
No, it looks like they're waiting for this event. Looks like they're waiting for this event. Everyone's talking about Mega Man Battle Network, but I never got it. I mean, I played it as a kid. But I never really got into it as much as like everyone.
Those are the Game Boy Advance ones, right?
Yeah, Game Boy Advance. Like where you like it's like an RPG.
Yeah, I didn't really like. I think I had one at one point. I didn't really care for it.
It's a weird hybrid of like strategy RPG / action / turn based. It's like not really turn. Like kind of. It's hard for me to explain it. But like you move on a grid, but it's like 2D kind of ish, and then like you move.
I wasn't feeling that whole grid, and I just didn't like the aesthetics of it.
You use like cards to do certain attacks. I mean, it has a lot of strategy and depth to it, so I can see why people like it though.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's see. Do we have any more questions here? What surprises? Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say Historic Duel asked what surprises do you want to be shown at the January let's just say a January Nintendo Direct, if it happens. It probably will, but what surprises do you want? I'm gonna say it'll be a surprise to a lot of people will be to show Metroid Prime 4 footage.
Would that be a surprise? Maybe. Yeah.
That wouldn't be.
Some people who don't even think it'll be out till late 2019 holiday. Definitely be a surprise.
Well, those are people. I mean, Nintendo wouldn't show off Metroid Prime 4 if it was going to be 2 years down the road. I think they learned their lesson with Wii U.
But as far as like surprises that we don't know about, it's hard to even predict. Like,
Well, I have one. Whatever Retro's working on. Like I want to see
yeah.
that. So I think that's going to blow everybody's minds.
I think a surprise would be like next level with a Luigi's Mansion. I think that would surprise people.
Oh, that would be awesome too.
That'd
Yeah.
be cool.
Yeah, I really think that's what they're working on, because it's like you can't not look at those sales and say make another one. Like if you don't, then someone at Nintendo needs to reevaluate things. That
What
game
did it sell? Like
sold
5-6 million?
5 million plus on the 3DS.
Yeah.
At $40. A lot of it was at 40 or $30. I mean, that game literally never went on sale.
It is a great game.
It is a
too.
great game. It graphically
awesome.
looks amazing. Like,
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
For a 3DS game, especially.
Oh, absolutely. Like it's just not in. It's just under sub 480p. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But like that type of like work that they did on that was amazing. Miyamoto was like floored. Like Miyamoto was like thrilled with the sales. He wrote.
You couldn't help but look at that game and like, why isn't this on Wii U?
Yeah, exactly. You couldn't help. I mean, it looked like it started out on Wii U. Graphically, it looked like it started out on Wii U, man. They just kind of pared it down for the 3DS.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. I mean, to me, I think they're working on. I think that would be great. I would love a Luigi's Mansion. Even though it's not my favorite, you know, I want it.
I mean, I wasn't in love with the first one. It was really short. And it was cool. It was a cool game on GameCube, but this game, Dark Moon, like opened up the gameplay for me. And
there's multiple mansions. That's the cool thing.
Yeah,
there's multiple. And real quick, shout outs to Ms. Velvet Crow. She donated $2 through Super Chat. Says, "Here, OJ Love. Thank you so much, Ms. Velvet. I do appreciate that. She's been a very good user of the channel."
Isn't it just Velvet Crow?
Yes, Velvet. Sorry. You're
right. You caught me. I'm paying attention.
Yeah,
see?
I'm just trying to be respectful. So I mean, Velvet. Thank you, Velvet.
Velvet.
I do appreciate that $2 donation through, and she's already like a Patreon and a sub. So thank you so much.
Yeah, I see her all the time. She's cool.
She's awesome. She is very awesome. I mean, Tales of Berseria, that main character, like she's like, you know, Velvet's awesome in that game. So yes, definitely much love to Velvet. So yeah, man. I mean, any other Jamie? What do you think, man? Surprises for the direct if it happens?
For the direct, I really don't know about surprises. I just want a new Animal Crossing on Switch, like a new full Animal Crossing. That's my desire. That's my dream right now.
That's coming. That's not a surprise.
I know, but I want to see it like now.
Oh, yeah,
Nintendo's waiting. I think Nintendo's waiting for the install base on that one too. I mean, I think they're trying to put things together because like that's going to be like a massive. Like you got to have stock for that one because in Japan it's gonna blow up. I mean, Animal Crossing New Leaf. I mean, that still sells in the top 20.
God.
That still sells in the top 20 sometimes. Like all of a sudden, it's always in the top 50.
It's my favorite of the series.
And then it just peeks its head into the top 20 out of nowhere. It's like this game's still selling.
I know a good surprise would be Bayonetta 3 announcement.
Oh.
That would be.
Ooh.
That would start the year off right.
Ooh, that would be. Oh gosh.
You'll have people revolting. I think that would actually cause what happened on Mega 64. You ever see their video on like Bayonetta 2 suicides?
Yeah, I saw that.
That would actually cause that stuff to really happen. If Bayonetta 3 was a Switch exclusive, it's like seriously, like
that would be great.
The difference is though,
that would be great.
a lot of those salty people about Bayonetta 2, like, I'm not gonna say a lot, but there are people who were in that camp who are now Switch owners. You know, still not Nintendo fans, but Switch owners now, and it wouldn't affect them as much. Like,
that's true.
To get somebody to buy a Switch for a Bayonetta 3 with all the other games it has versus get people to buy a Wii U for Bayonetta 2.
They'll still be crying though.
There will be,
but they'll be crying while they go buy their game. They'll be like, oh, "This is stupid. Oh, this is trash. Yes, I'll take Bayonetta 2 in the Switch. Thank you. Okay, but they'll be crying all the way to the store and back. But you know,
I got a question for OJ. Do you think Nintendo will reveal anything at the Game Awards or show anything?
Yeah. I think there's gonna be something, whether it's Zelda DLC, you know, showing that off. Yeah, so I think it's going to be Zelda DLC reveal. That's what I think is a
that makes them.
Yeah,
that seems pretty likely.
That's the only thing I can think of. I can't think of anything else because I remember I think at the last one, I know this was before Switch came out, but I think they showed a laggy. They showed laggy Wii U.
It's gonna be Cranky Kong and Smash.
I know Cranky Kong. Oh my god, I think that's what killed the Wii U.
That was the biggest troll of all time.
Oh my god, Nintendo trolled the heck out of everyone.
Because the worst thing about it was like it was already revealed. Like the rumor, that was the rumor, like a week to go or something. So when it was finally revealed to be the truth, people were just like, "What?"
And then like Reggie was wearing like a what was like a Samus pin or something like that.
Yeah, the Samus pin, and that was another troll. Like, oh my gosh.
Speaking of the Game Awards, I'm just wondering why they don't have Best DLC of the Year this year like they had last year.
Because they can put that in the actual category. That's why.
Because there wasn't enough big games with DLC. I think because I think Destiny.
We knew Battlefront 2 wouldn't get it anyway.
Well, the fact that they had to rope in Destiny to win it. Destiny shouldn't be nominated for anything, but they had to rope in Destiny for awards. I was just like,
they had to create an award to fit some games that are popular.
To rope Destiny's booty butt into that game is so mediocre. It's such just an average. For the amount of money, it's so average, but this is not going to get into a Destiny rant. But I want to give a real quick shout out to Daniel Espinoza. He donated $2 through Super Chat and says, OJ, thank you so much for recommending Xenoblade 2. It was super worth it buying the game and the special edition. Yes, no problem. I know, I don't know if you guys have been having the same thing, but there are a lot of people who have no clue about Xenoblade. And like they were really looking for people to recommend the game. So I think I've probably sold about 150 copies of Xenoblade to people. I'm not kidding you guys. Like I really have. So
John Shaw hit me up on Twitter this morning. He's like, "What's the battle system like? And is it like Xenoblade Chronicles X?" I'm like, "Yeah, but it's a little more streamlined." And he's like, "Well, maybe I'll check it out." Like, there's still people who aren't sure.
They want to be in, but they're not sure.
And this game doesn't have the appeal that X had as far as the environments. You know, remember when they showed off the varied environments for the first time for X? And I remember like Leveled Head Gamer, who's not an RPG, he was like, wow, you know, I'm intrigued. That's when it got me intrigued. I don't know that 2 has had that moment for people, but
it's definitely more anime.
I will say this though. You could watch all the videos, all the tutorials in the world on the combat system, but until you play it, and especially once you get past the tutorial stage where you get into all the extra layers that you can do and the strategy that you can do within the combat system, you have to play it. I watched, you know, all those videos before X came out. Everything Nintendo put out, anything people talk. I watched OJ playing the Japanese version months before it came out in the US, and it wasn't until I played it firsthand that I understood it.
Yeah, for Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and thank you so much, Daniel Espinoza. I do appreciate the donation. Thank you, man. You're the MVP. Everyone watching, you guys are. Without the users, you know, it would be hard to do these things every single week. But so thank you so much. I do appreciate that, Daniel. But yeah, man, I agree with you. Although I do have 2 pretty good tutorials. Although I do have 2 pretty good ones that explain the battle system. But I see what you're saying.
Really good.
If you watch my tutorials, though, if you really want to know, because I've actually gotten quite a lot more subscribers, so just type in Xenoblade Chronicles 2 battle system or combat analysis, and you'll see that. And I have a 5-minute tutorial, so it's only 5 minutes. And it pretty much explains what the game is about very simply as far as what you need to do. And it's organized. It's not off the top of my head. I wrote it out, you know, it's script and everything. I analyzed all the footage from E3, and that gave me everything plus my knowledge of Xenoblade. So if you're still iffy on the combat, at least watch that 5-minute thing, and you'll kind of know what's going on with the battle system. But yeah, like Terminator says, until you play it, it's one of those things. It's a very unique RPG. There's not really anything else like it on the market, so, you know.
We got time for one more question?
Yeah, we got time for another question. Okay. A couple more.
I've seen one that's pretty good.
Oh, go ahead. We'll go ahead and end it with this one then.
Historic Duel. What's your favorite Switch game so far? What are your least favorite?
Oh, that's good. So, Jamie, you want to start off with that one?
Oh, God, it's a tough one, actually. So the game I'll probably put the most time into is still Breath of the Wild. I mean, out of the box, it was amazing. I've put like 120-ish hours into it, and just I've loved every minute of it. And I went back for the Master Mode. I've only played Master Mode for maybe like 15 hours, so not that much. But I'm once I get through this glut of holiday games, I'm going to be playing things a lot more on it. But I'm still like playing through some Doom and playing through some Skyrim because, well, I love Skyrim, you know. But I think I can tell you my least favorite game on the system that I've purchased would be Fire Emblem Warriors. I mean, I loved how.
Wow.
Yeah, seriously.
Get out.
No, I'm serious.
Get out of my podcast now.
Because here's the thing. I loved Hyrule Warriors. Loved it. I'm talking like close to 200 hours. Loved Hyrule Warriors. So I've played a couple Warriors games since, and they always just had this like sheen of, wait, I've already played this. This is the same thing. It's just different. A little different. So I picked up Fire Emblem Warriors, and I was excited for it. And I played it for like 3 or 4 hours, and I was like, this is the same thing. It's the same thing. I'm just one game basically killed the Warrior series for me. So that's my problem.
Musu games are pretty similar. I mean, they're very similar.
It looked so much like Hyrule Warriors to me that I just decided not to get it based on the fact of that, and it came out with Odyssey, so it was gonna be it was gonna get put on the back burner anyway.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
So funny thing for me is I only have one game that I purchased that I don't love, and that's Super Bomberman R. I only have 4 years. Never played one before. It didn't grip me, and with Zelda, it was just so hard to take that out and put in Bomberman.
We got it before the update, so it was still kind of wonky, kind of janky.
Yeah. And like, there's like 2 gigs worth of updates, and I'm actually gonna probably delete it just to free up some room. But as far as like favorites, it's like every game has been great in its own right. Like Zelda, obviously, I got 250 hours in that, if anyone was wondering. But honestly, my top 3 is really easy. It's Zelda, Mario, and it's ARMS in that order. So, but everything else, like Rocket League, is amazing.
Yeah.
SteamWorld Dig 2 was phenomenal. Mario plus Rabbids was, so I'm happy. Snake Pass was really fun. I'm happy with every game. Super Bomberman R. But I do want to give a shout out to ARMS. I know OJ, you haven't played it much. The last 2 major. Well, you didn't lately, I meant.
Oh yeah, not lately. No.
The last 2 major updates when we got the new characters, Update 3, Update 4. I looked at my stats, and I had with randoms matches 0, with the rank battle 0, matches with friends. It was like 200 plus matches in each update. That game goes from like a 6, 7 out of 10 playing with randoms for me to like a 10 out of 10 when I'm playing with Twilight Bites and Terrell, Mizzy, when we're just sitting there BS and playing ARMS in a friend's lobby. It has the best lobby system I've ever experienced.
I love the lobby system.
It's so good. It's so seamless. I hardly ever see lag. Rocket League, another game. That's like playing offline when you're playing online. It plays so well. But ARMS, I think, has been overshadowed because it came out just under a month before Splatoon 2 and then all these other it really is a solid fighter, and it's just a ton of brand new Nintendo characters that are all pretty cool. There's a couple that aren't really kind of forgettable, but Nintendo just went all out. Brand new characters. They didn't force in any kind of nostalgia characters. No Marios, no Samus in there, and it's just they went all in with IP, and I think it's phenomenal. So yeah, that's my number 3.
It's doing good. I mean, it's still, I think it's over 1.3 million from the last time Nintendo reported on it. So that's pretty good for a new fighting game IP. And I'll definitely get to that in just a bit. T, what about you, man? Favorite games so far?
T has a lot of games.
I think I have 18 retail and another 12, 13 digital. Not that many, but
that's a lot in 10 months.
All right. Well, I love pretty much every game, but there's one, and I think OJ will agree with me. I feel like he dislikes it just as much as I do, and that is Has Been Heroes.
I hate that game.
It was only $20, but man, I want my $20 back.
Man, I don't hate the. I hate the.
You hate the same thing that I hate.
Yes.
You hate the fact that you just all your progress is out the door
It's
the minute you
wiped.
die, and it's just like, are you kidding me? Like,
Everything you did is gone.
how is this fun? This is not fun.
No, it's not. It's
So,
not.
Yeah, that's easily my least favorite
I agree.
game on Switch. You know, I could easily say Mario, Odyssey. I could say Zelda. I mean, those are pretty. But I want to give a shout out to a game that surprised the hell out of me that I really loved, and that's Mario plus Rabbids. I love that game.
Oh yeah,
Loved it. And it surprised the hell out of me. I couldn't stand rabbits before this game, and I found them to be very cute and hilarious in this game, and it's just a really good game. So give a shout out to that one.
Agreed, man. Agreed. I knew about Rabbids well beforehand, and I had people giving me some information. So I was hyping it up, and everyone was looking at me like, "You're crazy, OJ. You fanboy. Like, you're fanboy. You're just fanboying out. Like, Rabbids? You're kidding me?" I'm like, "No, it's actually gonna be pretty good." So yeah, I already knew it was going to be good because they were going to take like the basic XCOM gameplay, which is it's really hard to mess XCOM up. Like you've got to be quite the incompetent developer to mess up a strategy RPG. Like honestly, like if you look at strategy RPGs, they're all pretty good, right? We don't get a lot of them, but when they come out, they're good. Valkyria Chronicles, Fire Emblem, XCOM, Mario Plus. I mean, they're all good because it's easy. You know, like you just got to make sure you optimize, make sure the game runs, good concepts, good like levels and. But stuff like that. But if you have someone that's competent on board that can do that for you, then it's going to be a good game. So I was confident when I found out that it was a strategy RPG. I was confident that it was going to be good. Now, if it was a turn-based or action RPG, it gets a little bit more dicey, But as a strategy RPG, I'm like, oh no, this is going to be easy for them to do because you can implement Rabbids in a way to where it's like it's not too bad. Like you're beating the crap out of them.
Right.
So yeah. In terms of me, as far as favorite games, yeah, like, I mean, it's easy, like Zelda, Mario, right? And all that, but I actually like Fire Emblem Warriors. I actually like it, but I would say that like also SteamWorld Dig 2. That was a surprise on how good that game was.
That's one game I don't have yet. I love the first one, played the crap out of it, beat it, and I haven't gotten it 2 yet, and I know I'm gonna love it too. So.
SteamWorld Dig 2 is ridiculously good. It is a very high quality game. So yeah, for me, SteamWorld Dig 2 is probably the biggest surprise. I knew I was gonna like it, but I didn't think it was gonna be as good as it is. It's super good.
I actually liked it more than Samus Returns, honestly.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It's better than it. I think it's better than Samus Returns, but that's just it's just my opinion.
Not by much.
Yeah, not by much. I mean, but it's the difference though. Samus Returns has more content. You know what I'm saying? Like Samus Returns is more of a game. It's just you can tell that they had more of a budget. They had more stuff that they could do. So overall, I'd probably say without Samus Returns does more things, but SteamWorld Dig 2, as far as like what you do, the HD Rumble implementation, I mean, it helps it's on the Switch as well. It looks cleaner.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah, it looks clean. It plays great, but just Samus Returns just has more content.
Who sold more copies?
I don't know. I'm probably.
I don't know. That's gonna be close.
That's the sad thing is that you don't know. That's why
I think Samus Returns
sad.
did more, but SteamWorld Dig 2 was doing really well. So
right.
I mean, you mean just on Switch, or do you mean because SteamWorld
No, I just mean in general.
SteamWorld Dig 2 might have sold more on PC because it's on PC, PS4, PS Vita, or is it on PS Vita? No, or PS4.
Regardless, it shouldn't have with all the crying for Metroid. Like,
yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right. You're right about that. But I think it's also 3DS too. That might be a.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. I get that.
I wonder how Ultra Sun and Moon are going to sell because 3DS is definitely on the back of people's minds with the Switch and stuff. So
it's
going to sell as good as it should. I think it's
doing
out.
really good. The Japanese sales it sold over 1 million in its first 3 days.
I think it'll round out about 4 or 5 million, which is where it needs to be.
Well, according to VG charts, Samus Returns did like 300,000 in the first couple 2-3 weeks or whatever it was out.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's okay. It's fine for right now. It'll probably top out at like around maybe 500, 600,000, somewhere in that range. And that's fine.
On that install base, with all the crying on that install,
it's just too late. It's just they released it so late in the life.
I get that.
If that game, and I understand, like I'm with you, T. Don't like I'm with you as far as your general premise. It's just really late in the life. Metroid Prime 4, Switch is hype. It's just
the biggest fan base.
I thought that Metroid Prime 4 would actually help.
They're different.
Samus Returns, so
you've got Prime fans, and then you also have 2D Metroid fans. I think there's definitely a little bit of a, it's almost like old school Fire Emblem fans and new school Fire Emblem fans. You know, so there's a definite like split, somewhat. You know, maybe Fire Emblem's a little bit more severe because there's people that think that like new Fire Emblems are like sacrilege. You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh no, I can't do this, can't do new Fire Emblem. You know. But yeah, I mean, I think Metroid Prime 4 is going to do a lot better. And if they ever decided to make Metroid Samus Returns on the Switch, I think that would do really good, you know.
And Metroid just blow, like in the US, it just completely crushes the other regions. Like the North America especially is where Metroid games sell, and the Switch is definitely on the forefront. The 3DS. Now, you know, if it was a Japan like fan favorite type game, I think it would have done a lot better. But just looking at the numbers, it's Japan barely hits over like 100-some thousand on a Metroid game.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, I don't really feel like I want to comment on Samus Returns because my opinion on it would not be taken well.
Say it.
Oh, no.
No, say it.
All right, so here's the thing. I've never had a game before kill an entire system for me, and that's what Samus Returns did.
Sheesh.
Because here's the thing: is the game was good. I mean, the game was great. I played through the Game Boy version probably a couple of years ago on the 3DS, and I loved it. So I excitedly picked up Samus Returns. I was playing it. I was happy with it. You know, it was good. And then I got towards the end of it, and the control scheme and everything you have to push at once to be successful in the battles, and I was not that good at it as it was. Every time I ended a PlayStation, it would have to be after like 10-15 minutes because my hands morphed into like weird crooked lobster claws.
Oh my
And it just cramped up, and it was bad.
Yeah.
The
Definitely.
game just ruined. The game just ruined 3DS for me.
It needed to let you use that D-pad, man.
Yeah, it did. It really did.
Yeah, well, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to say.
I thought it was the best use of 3D on the 3DS. So it was the
3D
I
was
agree with
gorgeous.
that.
The 3D was incredible. But yeah, my hand cramps were severe, and it's probably the last game I'll ever play on my 3DS. But I like the game.
See?
Oh, see, it killed the 3DS for you too, apparently.
It was the last game. After I was done playing, because I got a review copy, I'm like, well, you know what? I took my 3DS, and I'm like, it's time. And I just put it away, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to request any more review copies. Like, they're like, oh, you want Pokemon Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon? I was like, no. I'm okay. I'm like, I'm good. You don't have to send that to me. I'm good. So yeah, I think you're not the only one, Jamie. Like, don't be afraid to say you're not the only one. I think that kind of killed the 3DS for a lot of people. You know, that bought the game and played. We're like, okay, everyone's like, okay, well, just put this game on the Switch. You know, like I could do Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem Echoes was fine because it's a strategy RPG. You know, so it was fine. But yeah, you're right with I was done after that. You know, I was just like, I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard not to be. I mean, it shows you both like the pinnacle of what the 3DS can do, while at the same time highlighting its immense limitations.
Yeah. So
ergonomics, Nintendo. Ergonomics.
Well, it's also just like you could also like play the game. It's like you can use a full controller with the Switch. You know, you can still play it portable mode, tabletop, or just lying down, and you can just have another controller. So even if somebody feels that the Switch doesn't even have good enough buttons or Joy-Cons aren't good enough, you can still just use a regular controller with it, you know, even if you wanted to play it portable. So that's the dope thing about Switch. It just supports so many different control schemes, you know, and things and controllers. Heck, you can use a Pokken controller if you want, you know, for games.
Wish they'd use the Wii U Pro controller, even though it doesn't have all the buttons, and that's not a wired controller. Because I got a few of those lying around. Wouldn't be bad for like Mario Kart 4-player split screen.
The Pro controller?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, the wireless Pro controller. Yeah, Nintendo they made a business decision on that one. They're like, oh, hold up, too many people got that one. We want them to buy our new one.
And the Xenoblade one's $5 more. It's $75 versus the $70, which is. That's something Xbox would do. So.
Oh yeah, I like it though. They got me.
It is a good.
It's totally worth it.
They got me.
It's worth it. It's worth it.
You got me. I actually got a matching. I don't want to move my mic just because maybe I'll hold it up. But I actually got a matching mic with my Xenoblade controller here. Just kind of.
Check this guy out.
Yeah. So I had to. get a mic too that looked like Xenoblade with the controller too, man. So, no, I was just a little bit hyped for the game, huh?
Nice.
But anyway, guys, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. I think there was one more shout out that I need to give. Yeah, Seb Sports donated $2 through Super Chat. Sorry for getting it to a little late. He says, "Finna get me a Switch for Christmas, bruh. Mario Odyssey." Nice. Definitely, dude. I know you're gonna have a lot of fun with Mario Odyssey. It's a great game. But yeah, that basically wraps it up for this one, guys. This was a nice reunion podcast. I definitely want to have you guys back on again. I thought it was a great discussion, so I would love to have all of you guys back for another PE Cross Nintendo. But yeah, I'm going to just basically go through some of the outros and give you guys some information on the channel, and then we'll be signing off here. So, Ms. T, where can people find you at? We have your Twitter up there, at Ms. T, but what else do you do on YouTube here?
Oh, you can find me on YouTube, obviously, as a T, same. I do a lot of Nintendo videos. I haven't done as much. Yeah. I haven't done as much of the more comedy stuff. I'm going to get back into that. Just those videos take a little longer and haven't had the time to do them recently. But maybe you might see one tomorrow morning at some point.
There you go.
So, yeah, check me out on YouTube. Hit me up on Twitter.
Nice. Definitely. I'm getting a little bit more into the comedy myself as well. In 2018, I got some announcements. So it's not, sometimes you have to make fun of things. You know, sometimes you can't always be so serious. You gotta just make fun of things, and that's what I realized, that you just make fun of certain things, and it makes things a lot better because the people can't respond to you because it's like you made a joke. You know what I'm saying? Like, they can't respond to you when you make when you just like make a joke about, you know, what they say.
Yeah, you got to do it in a good, good comedic, sarcastic way.
Exactly. Terminator, man, where can people find you, man?
Well, basically, my YouTube channel has just turned into a place for our weekly podcast. I rarely do solo videos anymore. Every once in a while, I'll do like a Juice Opinions when I just want to get my thoughts out there without T giving me a hard time about my take or my opinion. On the so it's just Terminator Juice on YouTube, and yeah, every Monday we do a podcast. Mezza T, myself, Terrell, the Insane Game Freak, Robert of Gaming with me, who was in the ARMS tournament at E3, if anybody watched that. And we used to have Retro Death, OJ's buddy.
Oh man, I love Retro Death.
I know.
We're like brother. No, I'm serious. We're like brothers.
Me and him, yeah, we get along, but our opinions are somewhat almost always opposite. Like
I love Retro Death as a brother. He's my third brother. He's like my extra third brother in France. Seriously, we're very good friends.
He's actually got to bow out of the podcast for a new job, so he's not going to be on anymore. But yeah, we usually start about 7:15 to 7:30 Eastern time on Mondays, and we do about a 2-hour podcast, and it's every week. You know, you can put it on your calendar. I mean, I think we missed maybe 2 weeks all year so far.
Very
Mondays.
Very consistent.
Yeah, so we get good participation in the live chat. It's, Muhammad, I see he's here. He's always
Muhammad's in a lot of podcasts. I just want
to Tony Karam. We got some crossover historic duo. I believe I've seen Jack Gates. So we have a good time. We make fun of each other and talk mostly Nintendo. So definitely, if you enjoyed this, I think you'll enjoy our podcast as well.
Absolutely, I watch it all the time whenever I get a chance. I usually have it on when I'm editing. I'll be editing mine and I'll be listening to it too as well.
Yeah, and I just want to say too, we didn't really talk too much about any of this. I got my Switch on right now, and I put it in the all software mode, and I'm just looking at these awesome icons: Xenoblade 2, Doom, Rocket League, Mario Odyssey, ARMS, Zelda. All next to each other, and it's just like, it's so crazy to have this system in my hand right now with all these top tier AAA games, like actual AAA games, not just the OJ's favorite definition
not
of
just
AAA.
the budget AAA.
If you put a lot of money into it, it's AAA.
Like SteamWorld Dig 2 is AAA to me, quality wise.
Absolutely.
I know it's an indie game, but yeah, it's just awesome to have the support, have all these games, not have these droughts, and we'll see what 2018 holds. But it's been a great year of gaming. Like if you just really love video games, you're a true gamer and you don't care about resolutions and minor, lesser stuff in my opinion. It's just been a great year to be a gamer. Whether you got one system or all of them, there's just been a lot of great games. So just want to remind people to enjoy the games. That's why we're here. That's why we have podcasts. That's why we're on YouTube. It's because we play video games. So.
Absolutely, man. Definitely.
Thanks for having me on, though.
No problem. And make sure you guys check out Terminator Juice. Like I said, his podcast is awesome. And Jamie, I almost want to say where can they find you at, but if I tell them, there's not going to be any.
Well, not so much on YouTube anymore.
On Twitter, though.
I might make a comeback one of these days, though.
I'm gonna push you.
You need to come back because you have one of the greatest intros of all time in your videos.
Some guy made that for me.
Who did that intro? I wonder who did that intro. I don't know.
It was a great intro.
Is that person talented? He might be.
He's pretty talented, that guy.
It is a great intro, though. We'll use that. It is a great intro. It is still on my computer, so it's not going anywhere.
I mean, I can rip it and send it to you every week just to make sure to remind you that you do have a YouTube channel. Just to let you
just like tweet it at me every single day.
I'm definitely gonna come at you, man. I'm not gonna let you just sulk because I know you're gonna turn this off and you're gonna go sulk in a corner, and I'm not gonna let you do that, Jamie. I'm not gonna let you do that. You need to be back on YouTube. I don't care, man. If it's one video a week, you can do one video a week, man.
That's right. So all you guys listening, follow him and stay on him and tell him you got to make a video. Come on, Jamie, let's do it.
Look, I'm gonna link his channel right now. All of you guys go subscribe to his channel right now. So if you're here,
I got like 1 subscriber 3 days ago.
No, if you're here, you're gonna go to his channel. Look, I did this for a reason, and the reason is we need to, Jamie, you need to get back into it. I understand you're a busy man. You're a busy man. But
make a video about why you hate the 3DS now.
Yeah. Wait, no, not your first video.
No, why you love Xenoblade Chronicles 2. There you go.
No, not that. But where can they find you as far as Twitter goes? I know I have your Twitter handle there. Can you talk a little bit about your Twitter?
Yeah, absolutely. You can find me on Twitter. It's at Jamie Beworth. Right now I'm a little political, but I also tweet funny things and about video games and whatever else too. So I'm kind of a mishmash of everything on there. And I also have an Instagram at PGH_nerd. It's mostly pictures of the city and cats. So if you like those things, hey. But I might make a comeback to YouTube soon. I mean, my life is in complete upheaval at the moment, but it should be settled down come January. So we'll see where that goes.
That's too long. Too long. No.
Cut him some slack. It is the holidays, and
Okay, yeah. I will cut him some slack for right now. But January, I'm gonna be on you, man.
Yeah, January. We're coming for you. January 1st.
All right. So guys, I'm gonna link his channel. Make sure you guys go subscribe to Jamie. Also,
tell him how much you love his intro.
Yes, go watch his old videos. Go watch his old videos in the meantime until he makes his comeback. But yeah, Jamie, you know what I'm saying? It's good to have you here, man. I understand, stuff that's going on, and everyone has stuff, but good to have you here, man. Good to have you here, and I definitely appreciate you taking the time out of your day, out of Xenoblade Chronicles 2, mind you, to be here. And I've kept you guys longer than I wanted to. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this one up, guys. I'll talk about a channel update later. I'll have a channel update probably at some point. Shout out to Jackson Holden for the subscription as well. So thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Make sure you follow me at PlayerEssence. Subscribe if you're someone new, obviously, all that good stuff. And we will definitely see you guys for the next one. Peace out. None of you guys are going to say bye?
Later.
Peace. We usually do that on our podcast.
Yeah, mine is just like, as soon as I say bye, I click the button.